so much. I haven't done anything yet, but I do appreciate that. By a show of hands here, before I begin, it's always good to feel out the room. By a show of hands, how many people actually know what a mentalist is? Okay, like the cool tables up here in the front. That's cool. All right. How many people have seen the show The Mentalist? Okay, a few more. Great. Yeah, it's a hit TV show. Great. So it's similar to that. I don't work with the FBI or anything like that, but I read body language, facial expressions, influence others to make decisions. Now we're going to have a little fun today, wake you guys up, and hopefully walk away with a little something. You can learn a little something. Now, the best way for me to get right into it, to show you what I do, is to do just that and get right into it. So can I have everybody please stand up for me? Great. What I want you all to do is reach into your pockets, out of your handbags, off the table, find a small object. A small object, so a coin would be ideal. It could be a ring off your finger, a crumpled up piece of paper, napkin, anything like that. Anything that you could hide and conceal in one hand. Because we're going to play a game in a second that we've all played one time or another. Which hand is it in? Well, that's what we're going to play. So if you have a small object that you can hide in your hand, crumple up paper, dollar bill, anything like that, just so I know that you're ready, hold it between your fingers like this, but behind your back. So if I see you with your hands behind your back, between your fingers, I know you are ready. All right. Most of you guys are on this side you're good? All right, now in a second, you're all gonna come out with both hands, just like this, concealing the object in one of your hands. Now, before you do it, I see a couple of you already. Before you do that, my job is to try to influence you which hand I want you to put the object in. That's it. I'm gonna see if I can influence you where you put the object. Now, it's a 50-50 shot. You all should have two hands, 50-50. It's true. I hope so. Now, you could either put it in the left hand or you could put it in your right hand, right? You have two choices. You have the left hand or the right. One more time, the left hand or the right. When you're ready, come out with both hands, just like this, concealing the object in one of your hands. Okay. Most of you made up your mind. Good. All right. Now, when I said it's a 50-50 shot, completely true, totally true, you have 50-50 chance. Now, I did, however, say I'm going to try to influence you where I want you to put the object in. So that might trigger something in your mind. Many of you, I don't know what a mentalist is. I don't trust this guy. I don't know who he is. He's from New York, I heard. I don't know. I'm going to listen to what he says. He's not going to fool me. I get it. It's not about fooling or anything like that. But if you did pay attention, you might have noticed that I raised my left hand, or I emphasized the word left. Many of you might have thought that I wanted you to put the object in your left hand. It's actually the exact opposite. So if you have the object in your right hand, if the object is in your right hand, you can sit down, you're out of the game. Sorry. That's a healthy majority of you guys. All right. That's a good majority of you. Now, that those of you that are still standing, there's one of two things. Those of you that are still standing, you either have the object in your left hand or you're lying to stay in the game. There's always somebody. There's always one. There's always at least one. But those of you that are still standing, if you learn anything from me today at all, this might be the moment for you. It might be. If you're standing, I want you all to scan the room and pay really close attention to those that are sitting. Anyone that you know that's sitting, if they're your colleagues, friends, scan the room, because those are the ones that are easily influenced. So if you need anything, not saying you can't be influenced, but I'd say start there. That's a good way to start, right? And for those of you that are still in the game, we're going to do another round. So take that object, go back behind your back, go back and forth, hand to hand, side to side. And when you're ready, come out again with both hands hiding the object in one of your hands. Okay. Good. All right. That time, many of you probably just kept it in the exact same hand as the first round, right? So if you just kept it in the exact same hand, you could sit down, you're out of the game. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Now, those of you that are still standing, you are the hardest to influence. You are the hardest ones in the room, right? The hardest to figure out. So we're going to grab... Would you mind joining us up here? We're going to grab, would you mind joining us up here? You two, come up here. And in the back, come up here, yeah. We need 5. Give a nice round of applause. Join us on stage. The rest of you guys can sit. All right. 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, now I really want you, though. We could do 6. It's fine. Yeah, we could do 6. That's cool. You were the first on stage, so I'm going to use, you are Shannon. And you can put your object away if you have it. I don't need it. You can put it in your pocket. It's completely fine. Okay. Now, Shannon, over here I have a necklace. Okay. I'm going to hand you this necklace. Hold on to that. Now, in a second, the 6 of you are going to huddle up. Okay, the 6 of you are going to huddle up. The 5 of you are going to hold your hands out just like this. Shannon, you decide who gets the necklace, which hand it goes in. It's completely up to you. Okay? So you decide who gets it, which hand it goes in, and then you guys line up in a row just like you are now. Everybody have the hands up like the game we played before. Whoever Shannon does give that necklace to, whatever hand that's in, make sure the necklace is not dangling out. I would obviously know who has it, so that would not work for this game. So whoever has it, make sure you're holding on to it. You are not showing it. Now, Shannon, you're going to be in this game as well. Okay, so you don't have to give it to these people. If you don't like them, you don't trust them, that's fine. It's okay. You don't know them. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. So you're going to be in this game as well, okay? So you're going to be just like everybody else in there. So you can pretend, it's okay, all right? However, I do have to let you know, if you do keep it for yourself, it's considered a selfish act. So... I mean, I don't know if you want to look selfish in front of everybody else. That's up to you. I mean, maybe you do. It's okay. So do that now, huddle up. I'll figure out who gets it and then line up in a row. All right. Now we're going to play a game. I'm going to ask them all the same question. I'm going to ask them, do you have the necklace in your left hand? Do you have the necklace in your right hand? For this game, they're only going to be able to answer yes. Okay? So whether they have the necklace or they don't have the necklace, they're only going to be able to answer yes. So pay attention to their eyes. You're going to notice that the truth tellers tend to look at you while the liars tend to look away. So we're going to see who's lying, who's telling the truth. It's a fun game. It's really great. Are you guys all set? Everybody good? I'm talking, you guys are all right? Oh, line up in a row. Line up. Yeah. Oh. Line up in a row. Now we're on. Okay. All right. So whoever has it, make sure you don't give it away. If you don't have it, don't give it away either. I'm going to go down the line, and I'm going to ask you all the same question. I'm going to say, do you have the necklace in your right hand? Do you have the necklace in your left hand? For this game, you're only going to be able to answer yes. Your only answer is yes. So whether you have it or you don't have the necklace, just say yes. Most of you will be lying because you won't have it. One person will be telling the truth, and we're going to see who the truth teller is. Does that make sense? Yes, it should. That's the only answer. That's it. Yeah, that's it. The only answer is yes. Great. I'm glad we're good. Okay, so we're going to start here, hands straight out. Do you have the necklace in your, is that right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the necklace in your right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your right hand?
Yes.
Do you have the necklace in your left hand?
Yes.
Wow. I think I learned something up here from you guys. I learned I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with any of these people, so I don't know. Jeez. All right. So I actually lied. I lied to all of you because I knew they were going to hear it. It's actually the exact opposite. So the truth tellers don't have to stare at you because they know that they're telling the truth, while the liars actually tend to stare you down to see if you believe their lie. Yeah, it's true. I believe you stared me down enough. Can you show both hands empty? Thank you very much. You keep your hands closed. Give him a nice round of applause. I believe you gave me a good stare too. Can you show both hands empty? Great. Give her a nice round of applause. Thank you so much. All right. You can scoot down just a bit, spread out. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go a little bit faster. You guys know what I'm looking for, so we're going to go a little bit faster this time, okay? Same thing, same game. Do you have next in your left hand?
Yes.
Right hand?
Yes.
Left hand?
Yes.
Right hand?
Yes.
Left hand?
Yes.
Right hand?
Yes.
Left hand?
Yes.
Right hand?
Yeah.
Right hand?
Yep.
Right hand? Mm-hmm. Left hand?
Yes.
Okay. What I was looking for there is a slight pause, a little uncertainty. I do think you paused enough. Can you show both hands empty? All right, give her a nice round of applause. All right. Okay. This time, and if it's hurting you, I mean, you could drop your arms. Yeah, it's a good workout. If you ever just want to just hold your arms out like this, you could drop them. It's okay. I'm going to ask you the same question. This time, I want you to answer truthfully, but only in your mind, only in your head. So don't actually say anything out loud. So if you have the necklace, in your mind, think yes. If you don't have the necklace, just think no. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So just the truth, but only in your head, nothing out loud. I don't even need this. I'm holding it for fun. In your head, you have the necklace in your right hand? Left hand. Perfect, okay. Do you have the necklace in your right hand? Left hand? Jeez. Do you have the necklace in your head? In your head, you have the necklace in your left hand? In your right hand? Perfect. Okay, I got you. Now notice if somebody asks you a question, you can't not answer the question. You might not physically answer it, you might not say the answer, but you still think it, right? If somebody asks you what your name is, where do you live, what do you do for a living? I mean, you might be thinking, why are you interrogating me? But you're still thinking your name, might not physically say it. I do believe that you were honest, that you were saying that you do not have the necklace. Can you show both hands? Thank you so much. Give her a nice round of applause. Thank you. All right. Now, I really hope one of you has it, because someone pocketed the necklace. That would be my third one. I mean, wouldn't be the first time. Okay. So here's where the psychology comes into play. Earlier, I said to you, Shannon, now you could either keep it for yourself or you could give it away. However, I did say if you kept it for yourself, it's considered a selfish act, right? So I said that purposely because I wanted you to try to give it away. However, Shannon, you were one of the last 5, 6, 7 people that were still standing. So you might know how this works, so maybe you would keep it for yourself thinking that most people would give it away. Okay. Shannon, you look like a smart woman. Maybe you would give it away thinking that I would think you would keep it for yourself, because obviously most people would give it away. Yeah. The old Princess Bride, if you guys, You guys know. Shannon, you keep your hands closed. Your little hands behind the back, it looks a little dishonest right now, but it's okay. That's a little body language reading. That's on me. But I think you were honest enough that you did give it away. I don't think you're selfish, though. Can you show both hands empty? Okay, great. Give Shannon a nice round of applause. Keep your hands closed. Keep them closed. Can you stand facing me for a second? Put both hands out just like this. I really hope you have it. I really hope you do. All right, you're going to do something right now that's going to give it away. You're going to do something right now. That's not it. No, that's not it. It's not it either. It's okay. You're okay doing this, right? You feel comfortable up here? You seem pretty comfortable. Okay, I think that was it right there. You just move. Can you open up that right hand for me? Oh, there you go. Thank you so much. Oh, give a nice round of applause. Thank you. The necklace lasts another day. Right. Can you ask? Yeah, sure. I didn't know we were doing Q&A, but yeah, okay. No, that's fine, yeah. I'm going to go into it. Don't worry. Okay. Who here knows how I figured out who had it? Does anybody have an idea? Okay, they'll just wait till I answer the question, right? Okay. Perfect. There's an idea back there, yeah, okay.
Kept asking questions and reading their reactions to your questions that give you some kind of sign to narrow it down.
Perfect, yeah, I mean, obviously that's what it looked like up here, right? That is what it looked like. And part of it is what I was doing. However, why I demonstrate this to you, it comes down to influence and how we could be influenced by one another, and sometimes without even knowing it. Just like how I said, it might sound so silly, but put it in the left hand or the right hand. And you might think you want to do the opposite. Just like kids, if you tell them not to do something, they're going to do it, right? So there's different ways of using language, and through the words we use, pictures and numbers, which I'm going to demonstrate all up here, that is how we influence one another. And you have to be really careful of the people you surround yourself with, because those are the people that are influencing you, and you also have that influence on them. Now, when I have those 5 or 6 of them up here, not only am I reading that one person, but when I went down the line, these are the only 6 that knew who had the necklace. And when I got to the person that had it, everybody's eyes gravitated toward them. So not only am I looking at every person individually, you have to be observant of everybody around you and everybody in your circle. Because as I go down the line, if anybody else screws up the answer or does something, it doesn't matter because they didn't have it. They could screw it up. But if that person screws it up, then the game's over. So as I go through, I'm looking at that one person individually, but also being aware of their surroundings and who's around them. And those people kind of called them out without even knowing it in one way or another, right? They were kind of set up for the game because they don't know what I'm looking for. But just by observing the surroundings and seeing it, that's how I figured it out. So not right away, I knew who didn't have it right away. So I kind of started eliminating. But by the second round, all honestly, by the second time I did it, I knew who had it. The rest is, hey, that's a show for you guys, right? If I just said, hey, you have it, give it to me, I had to figure out which hand it was in and all that. That's for real, but that's how it works, yeah. By the second round, I pretty much knew. Now, a lot of people might ask me, I know I'm going to be hanging around for a bit. I'll get through the story. How did you get into this? What is, what's this all about? Mentalism, for those that you don't know. So who here ever heard of a magician? Great, maybe you should. Okay, mentalism is similar to magic, but it's magic of the mind. So if you were to look at a pie chart, a circle chart of what type of magic there is, that pie chart has different pieces. So one of those pieces would be, say, an illusionist, like a David Copperfield, who makes Statue of Liberty disappear, cuts somebody in half. They do big illusions. Another piece of that pie would be close-up magic, or card magic, or something like a David Blaine, who does some close-up things. There's also hypnotists who make people act like chickens, ducks, and that type of thing. We're not doing that, don't worry. And then there's a piece of that pie is a mentalist, who reads body language and facial expressions and tries to influence each other. Now, I got started out. Has anybody got into magic when they were younger at all? Nobody. Okay, great. You guys are like, magicians? Why is he here? Okay. So I got started. There's one of 2 ways most kids get into it. I got started when I was 6 years old. You either saw a magician on TV, or like David Blaine, David Copperfield, or you got a magic kit. So I went to when there was a Toys R Us back then, and my mom bought me a magic kit when I was 6 years old. And it had that kit where the trick I loved was that fake thumb. As a kid, you make the handkerchief disappear, like, boom, it's gone. And I was like this little kid with a huge thumb on my finger, so you don't know. So I thought it was amazing. I made this handkerchief disappear, and my mom was a good sport and said, oh, I don't know where it went. You're so great. And gave me that confidence to actually pursue magic. And I started creating my own things, but I was always hesitant to show the world or to show other people. Until I was about 13 years old. When I was 13, David Blaine came out with his first magic special, which showed close-up magic, people right in front of your face. And that's the type of stuff I was doing at the time. So I figured, I could show people and be cool when I'm 13 years old, going into high school or whatnot. So that's kind of what I did. But at the time, I was really passionate about it, maybe too passionate, I don't know. But a lot of people told me, the people that I surrounded myself with at the time, which was teachers or friends, family members, they all told me, oh, that's a great hobby, but what do you want to do with your life? That's not a career. You can't be a magician. Like, that's not a thing. Although it is a thing. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I dreamed big. I wanted to either be a magician or a professional basketball player. Like, that was it. I'm 13. When you're 13, that's what you want, right? Like, that's all you know. So when they said, well, you have to figure something out and do something else, going into college, I figured, okay, well, let me major in like psychology. Let me figure out what people are doing, human behavior. So I got into that side, which is what mentalism is. Because I figured, well, if I need help in school or on a test or something, if I could influence the teacher, right? If I could influence the teacher to help me out, give me a better grade, hey, that would work for me. If I'm in college at a bar and I could influence a girl to go out with me, and then, hey, girlfriend right there, right? Or influence someone on a job interview, hey, I get a job. Like, I figured, well, influence or building relationships and people skills is one of the most important assets that we have as human beings, right? So I got more into that psychology part. And then in college, I was working for Verizon Wireless. Who's here? Just so I show a hand so I know, who's here from the US? Okay, good amount. The rest, Canada? Okay, somewhere else? Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. That's great. Where are you from? Brazil? Chile. Okay, awesome. South America. Great. Okay, cool. So when I was working at Verizon Wireless, I'll tell you a quick story. If you were to go in, this was 2008, and if you were to come into the store and you didn't know your phone, if you put your phone number in, all your information would come up. Where do you live? All that type of stuff, right? But if for some reason you forgot your phone number and you just came in, because phones were, not new, but new-ish. If you came in and you didn't know your number, but you gave me your name, say you said, I don't know, like Oprah Winfrey, Chicago, right? Unless you type that in, if there's a lot of Oprah Winfreys in Chicago, I don't know, but you could probably get that person's contact info. So at the time, in 2008, for those in the US, or everybody should know, a historic thing happened. Barack Obama won the election, right? He became the first black president. He was president of the United States. So one of the kids in our store decided to type in Barack Obama, Chicago. Probably not a good idea. However, there's not that many. There was one, just so you know, by the name. All his info came up, and the kid decided, I got to call him and congratulate him. Like, this literally just happened. He's like, I'm going to congratulate him. I'm like, dude, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I don't think so. So he picks up the store phone, by the way, from Verizon, and he dials the number. He puts it on speaker. Like, no joke, it's a true story. It starts ringing. It rings a second time. Eventually goes to voicemail. So he didn't answer. However, it did say on the voicemail, it was Obama's voice. I can't do the voice. But he said, you've reached Senator Barack Obama. If this is an emergency, you can reach me on my BlackBerry and add such and such number. This is back when, yes, BlackBerries were a thing. He gave the number. The kid quickly writes down the number. He's like, I'll call that number. I'm like, dude, that's not a really good idea. Like, that, we don't even have that number on file. Like, we are Verizon, and we don't know that number, right? He has like a bat phone, a secret phone. So he's like, no, I'm going to call him. So he dials the number. It rings once, rings a second time. Hello? Eventually, I can't do the voice, but hello? Obama answers the phone. He's like, bro, I got your back. I knew you could do it. More power to you. If you need anything, hit me up. He's like, who is this? He's like, yo, if you need anything, I got you. We got your back. We got to stay together. You know how it is out there? Holla at me, like something like that. That's what he said. Obama hangs up on the kid. The very next day, yes, you might know where this is going. The very next day, Secret Service show up to our store. Yeah, for real. Locked down the store. They told us to pull our cars around the back. You had login codes. If you logged in, and then it keeps track of all the numbers that you looked up for that day. So if you logged in and you looked at it, you were automatically terminated. If you saw the number, you were terminated. They checked our surveillance footage. If you were by the computer while he was doing it, you were automatically terminated. Apparently, the back of my head looks very similar to the back of other people's heads. So they didn't know if it was me. So they were asking questions like who was on staff yesterday, all that, went through it. They took us around the back, as I said, and this is where the polygraph comes into play, if you heard in the intro. So they hooked everybody up to a polygraph test. The Secret Service was there, and they asked us all these questions. Not just were you there, did you see the number, but like about our families and weird things to see your psyche, how you are. And me being, hey, this is 2008. There was just like a recession, for those who don't know. I needed to keep my job. I had student loans and things I had to pay off. I can't like lose my job right now. So I figured, well, I got into this mentalism thing, right? I know what people are looking for. I know the psychology. Maybe I could lie through this polygraph test, right? Maybe I could just lie. Right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I've seen any Seinfeld fans here? Seinfeld? Okay. George Costanza? It's not a lie if you believe it. Words of George Costanza. That was me. Big Seinfeld fan. So I figured, I could fool this guy. I'm going to lie right through it. So I lied right through the polygraph, and I passed. And I kept my job for about 3 weeks, and then I got fired. Had absolutely nothing to do with that, but at the time, there was a recession. So it really didn't matter. Like Verizon bought out a company called Alltel Wireless, and Alltel Wireless was a smaller company. If those don't, if you remember, as a blonde kid in a blue polo shirt, that was like all over the commercials. And they had a deal with them saying, if you buy us out, you can't fire the Alltel employees. You had to give them jobs. So sure, economics, they give them our jobs, fire us, and pay them less money, right? So that's all it was. I lost my job. I had a nice little severance pay, and I figured, what am I going to do? How can I make a living? I didn't know what to do with myself. So then I figured, I never met another magician until I was 26 years old. I didn't know. I was all self-taught. And I figured at this time, if I'm going to jump, if I'm going to do something, now's the time, right? Now is it. So I had to surround myself. That's why I talked to you about influence. I had to surround myself with the right people. Number one, I had to figure out another magician. Because if this somebody could actually make it work, then I could make it work, right? We could figure this out. I had to figure out a website guy. Like websites were a thing in 2008. It started like it was big. Like people Googled stuff. My mom was like, just put a flyer in the grocery store. I'm like, that's not gonna work, right? I need to reach out to people. I had to email people, get business cards, marketing done, email campaigns. There were so many things that I had to learn, and I had to surround myself with those people. So I wouldn't be here, do anything if it wasn't the people that I surround myself with. And you have to be conscious of that company you keep, those people that you work with, those people in your groups, whether it's friends and family and those, who is influencing you in your life and how. And not only that, but how are you influencing others? Because I believe that you're the direct reflection of the top 5 people that you spend time with. And if you surround yourself with the right circle of influence, that's going to propel you forward into good things. But just like up here, you might not even know it and be with people that are calling you out in a way and hold you back. And you also have to be conscious of how you are influencing those. Because I guarantee you, all of you in this room are in somebody else's top 5. And be very conscious of who is looking up to you and what example you're setting for them as well. So that's where we go on influence. Now, I want to share something with you guys. We're going to get into this. Okay, there we go. All right. I have a yellow dot on the screen. That's true. That is what you see. I want everybody to take their forefinger and their thumb and make that OK symbol. Make that OK symbol. And what I want you to do is I want you to close one of your eyes. Close one of your eyes. And with the eye that's open, I want you to line up that OK symbol or that dot right in the middle of that OK symbol. Just line it up right in the center. Perfect. Now, I'm not going to change the slide. I'm not going to do anything yet. All I want you to do is to close the eye that's open and open the eye that's closed. Just close the eye that's open and open the eye that's closed. Is it still in the center? No. Some of you are like, this is amazing. I've never seen this before. You guys can put your hands on. It's okay. This is so cool. That's great. All right. Okay. Now, this was actually my first business card that I ever created when I was 26 years old, and I thought it was something really interesting. What does anybody see here? You could shout it out. It's okay. A face. Okay, I'm hearing face. I'm hearing liar. If I were to do this, what does people see? Cool. So if anybody saw the face but didn't see the liar, you see it now? Great. And anybody who saw liar, do you now see the face? What changed? Perspective. You're right. You're all right. You all know what it is. You all know. It's perspective. It's how you look at something. And the craziest thing about perspective is once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now you will see liar and face for the rest of your life, you will see that. Have you ever been so sure of something? You said, this is what it is. This is the way that it is because that's how you've always seen it. That's how it was done until somebody showed you a different way to do it. Somebody showed you a different perspective. And you're like, you had that aha moment. That's the beauty of perspective. Why I give this to you is because when you surround yourself with that circle of influence, when you're careful and you pick the right people that you want around you, the right people that you have on your team, you should probably listen to those people and gather new perspectives. Perspective is power. And when I say perspective, that's collaboration. When you see other people's viewpoints, when you get perspective, when you collaborate with others, that's what leads to innovation. That is how we innovate, by seeing other people's viewpoints, whether it's a female perspective, a male perspective, someone new coming into the industry who doesn't know all the craziness that might be here already, or someone who's been around for a long time, who's seen everything. To pick and choose and gather those perspectives, it's an amazing thing. Now, on perspective, I want to share with you a different perspective and something else. There's a video of this gentleman over here. He told me, I want to make a video. Mike, you're going to be there. So I was like, okay, sure. He filmed this. I want to share it with you. And let's listen to what he has to say. We have good sound?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really well. Wow, it looks like you guys are having so much fun over there. Where are you?
We're at the Decor Academy event in Winkler.
No way. That's so crazy. I'm actually going to be there in a few days. That's crazy that you're already there.
That is insane, man.
All right, how about this? Since you're already over there and I'm stuck here in the past, how about we team up and do something fun with everybody in the room?
Sounds good.
All right, great. So Mike, what I want you to do is go grab a volunteer. Go grab somebody fun that wants to help out with this one. But before you do that, I want you to put me in a deep freeze so that I can't hear anything that you're saying. So go do that now.
Okay. All right. So Mike from the past right now is in a deep freeze, so he can't hear any of this. He doesn't know what's going on. He asked for somebody fun who wanted to help out with this. Okay, great. That was amazing. Yeah, sure, you can. You look super fun. That's great. Give her a nice round of applause. And what is your name?
Danny.
Danny? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, Danny, over here I have a book, okay? It's called Wine in Mind. It's a wine guide that was written by a psychologist, and I thought it was really interesting because it had, it has all different, this is from the US, it's a red wine, it's a Cabernet. But what I thought was really cool is that these pictures here are wine stains. And you see, they're different, and you can interpret them kind of like if you've seen a Rorschach test or one of those ink blot tests, like, hey, what do you see? Like I might see like an angel here or something, I don't know what you would see. There's an Italian wine. We have, there's some whites too, like it's a white, that could be like a potato, I don't know what that would be, but all different types. A brain, you see a brain, right? All different things. So what I want you to do is I want you to hold out your right hand just like this. I'm going to put the book on, and I want you to just pick a page and just open it up to another page. So with your other thumb, open it up to a page, and you're going to choose a random wine. Now open it up fully. Okay, so you have, okay, we won't even say what you have, but that's actually a popular one. Actually, that's actually a popular one. So there's the wine. You have, okay, we're going to go to the video. Can we unpause the video for a second? Yeah, we're going to unpause the video because now you're going to just talk to this guy. I'm not even here.
Ooh, it's getting kind of cold in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right, Mike, did you grab a volunteer?
Yes, got one. She's fun
Great.
too.
Can you step up? Hi.
Hello.
And what is your name?
Danny.
I'm sorry, what was it? I couldn't hear.
You get a mic.
Danny.
Yeah.
That's a nice name. I love that name. So, if Mike explained to you, he would have gave you a book, and you chose a random page in the book. Did you do that?
I did.
Great. Now, that book is called Wine in Mind. So if you chose a random page, you would have chose a random wine that you have in mind. We're going to start there. First, I want you to think of that wine. Now, think of that wine. Get it in your mind. Think of how it would taste if you poured a glass of that wine and you tasted it, if it would be a red wine or a white wine, if it would be heavy or light. Think about that in mind. I'm getting this is a red wine, correct?
See.
All right, great. 50-50 shot
It is,
there.
yeah, 50-50.
Now the next thing I want you to do is think of this wine if you've ever had it before, taste it, how it would taste in your mouth. I'm getting it's a Cabernet.
No.
No, man.
No.
No.
Okay.
One job.
Hey, sorry, Mike. I'm trying to read minds from the past over here. All right. Oh, man. No, I'm not getting this one. I'm not getting it. All right. How about this? How about we move on? We move on. We might come back to this. We move on. On that page, there's going to be there's a picture on that page. There's also, if Mike told you, there's a wine stain. It's a stain that's similar to like an ink blot test. This was created by a psychologist. And it's an ink blot test or a Rorschach test where you look at that ink blot or wine stain and you come up with an image that you might have in your mind. So how about we do that? We move on there. I want you to look at that wine stain and come up with something in your mind that you can think of that resembles that. Maybe something that you can visualize. Maybe you can draw this thing.
Okay.
I'll give you a second. Do you have something?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to try something with you here. Now, I want you to think of this thing. And the first thing we're going to say is this. Just think about it. Don't say it. Think if this is a living thing or a non-living thing. We'll go there. Okay. So this is I'm getting this is a living thing, correct?
See.
All right. Again, 50-50 shot. All right.
50-50.
I want you to think of this thing. Let's say where you would see this thing. Think of it. I'm going to go with this here. All right. I committed. I wrote something down here. Now, in a nice loud voice, can you tell everybody what you're thinking of?
Chanticleer.
Perfect. Because I wrote down a chicken or a rooster. All right. Thank you.
What were you thinking?
Perfect.
Chanticleer,
Okay.
which is a rooster.
No,
I don't even know. Okay.
I'm
yeah.
sorry I didn't get
I'm
the
from New York.
actual
What do I know?
wine that you had in mind, but at least I got this, right? At least I got the chicken part of it. So for the first time, can you tell everybody actually what wine you were thinking of, what wine you chose?
Yellowtail. Merlot.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I was close. It
Yellowtail
was a red wine. It was just a Merlot. It wasn't a Cabernet.
Yes,
It was a
you got
Merlot.
it.
You chose Yellowtail Merlot. Perfect. Now, as I said, what we've been talking about is about influence and perspective and how we could be influenced by those around us and things around us that we could be influenced by without even knowing it. And we talked about perspective, but right now you only have one perspective, the perspective of this camera lens. Now, if I were to switch over to say, this camera over here, sometimes the answer becomes so clear. Yellowtail Merlot. Thank you so much for choosing that. And as I said, we could be influenced by those things around us. Some things are hiding in plain sight without knowing it. And you might have been influenced to choose chicken or Yellowtail Merlot without even realizing it. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I'm going to have a glass of Yellowtail Merlot. And thank you so much for helping out. Thank you, Mike. Thank you all. And I'll see you all really soon.
I have to tell you a secret.
Okay, sure.
I have a rooster pin on my backpack.
But it's a Chanticleer?
Yeah, it's
I
another
had
term,
no
Chanticleer.
idea. I didn't know. Is this a thing? Like, I didn't know. Okay. Yeah. A rooster pin. Thank you, Danny. Thank you. Give it up for Danny. Thank you. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Okay. We're going to get my face off of there for a second. Yeah. Now, is there anybody in here who has, I'd say, young children? I'm going to say children, maybe between the ages of 5 and 8, 5 and 10, somewhere around there. In that age range, a few, okay. Would one of you like to participate? I see a few hands over here. Would you like to help with something? Sure. You could stay where you are. I'm going to come out to you, actually. I'm going to come out to you. I'm going to hand you, I have a chalkboard and a piece of chalk. So it kind of goes together. Hand you the chalkboard. Are you okay with it? Oh, that's why I have it in a chalk holder, because I hate touching it. Yes. Would you rather a pen? That's more visual. Okay. What I'm going to ask of you is, why I asked you to have young children, I want you to draw a picture for me. Okay? Draw a picture for me, but the only rules for this game is that it's something a child would draw. And what I mean by that, not something so simple like a circle or a square, but not something abstract, crazy, not something if you have kids and it's like something between you guys. Something that if we saw it, we would all know what it is. And if you are an amazing artist, dummy it down, because I'm not. So don't draw anything crazy. I'll give you an example, like a tree. Something like that if we all saw it, we would all know what a tree looks like, or something like that. Does that make sense? You don't have to draw a whole scene, but something that a child would draw. Don't show us. You keep it for yourself, and we're going to come back to you in a minute. Now, grab my clicker. Great. Now, as I said, being influenced, it's not always the people that you keep in your circle, but you could be influenced by other things as well. It could be a great book that you read, or a movie you saw, or something else that has influence on your life. And when I was younger growing up, there was a couple influences. As I said, I was getting to magic and moving into mentalism, and I didn't know anybody that did what I did until I got older. And one of the first influences that I loved was this guy over here. Does anybody know who he is? Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes was amazing. I was like, this guy just look at you and decipher things by, he has dirt on his left shoe, his hands have this discoloration, or whatever it was. He could tell you exactly what you did and all these things about you just by looking at you and observing. I thought it was so fascinating. And there was one other person that I even loved more than Sherlock Holmes. I thought this person was, oh my God, how does he do it? This person was Columbo. Yeah. For those of you who don't know Columbo, he was this raggedy detective, right? I used to watch these episodes of this show Columbo with my grandfather. We'd sit on the couch and watch Columbo episodes. And I thought it was so great. What he would do is he would interrogate this witness. He would stand in front of him, interrogate him, and ask him all these questions. But during that, that suspect had his guard blocked. He wouldn't try not to give anything away. Then as Columbo would leave, he'd be walking out the door. He'd come back with his finger waving over his head, and he'd say, anybody know it? Just one more thing. I thought that was so great. Just one more thing. Now, what did that do? Just one more thing. What that did was that person had their blockers on, right? They wouldn't give anything up. Once he left, he eased the tension in their shoulders eased on their face. They would be all more relaxed. And then when he comes in with that just one more thing question, it catches them off guard. Now they're more eased, they're more relaxed, they're more likely to give something away. And it's those just one more thing moments that I believe that we can create. We can create these Columbo moments. That when we're trying to build relationships, or we're trying to, if it's closing a sale or meeting a new person, maybe someone has their blockers on. How can we break down those barriers? How can we catch them off guard, make them at ease, and create these just one more thing moments? Now, okay, marker, cool. Now you drew something. Can I? You know what? Can you join us up here? But just hold this to yourself so I don't see it. Yeah, you could join us, right? But give her a nice round of applause too. Now, if I hand you this, can you hold it one hand? I'm going to ask you to juggle next. Don't worry. All right, cool. We're good. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First of all, did you show anybody else this drawing?
Maybe if they're sitting behind me.
Okay. Who peeked? Be honest. Hey, honesty is great. I see it. Half the table. Great. Mm-hmm. Great. All right. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to see if I could figure out what you drew by asking you 2 questions.
Okay.
Not 20 questions, just 2. Now you paid attention to the rules? It's something a child would draw that we'd all recognize?
Yes.
Okay, great. The first question I'm going to ask you, don't worry. First question is this thing a living thing or a non-living thing? Now, before you answer it, I had somebody draw a planet like Earth, and they said it wasn't living, but Earth would be living. So, not saying you're one of those people, it's fine, you know. But to the best of your ability, I had somebody draw a cartoon character once, like Mickey Mouse, and they got confused. Is that living or not living, right? So that could be hypothetical. But is this, to the best of your knowledge, a living thing or a non-living thing?
I'm going to go with non-living.
Non-living. Okay, great. So what that tells me about it is just like these questions Columbo asked. Now I know it's not living, but it doesn't tell me what it is, but it tells me what it's not. Now I know you didn't draw that tree that I mentioned, or a flower, or a person, or planet Earth, or there's so many things I can now discount because I know it's not living. The second question, my final question is this thing bigger or smaller than I'd say a piano?
Bigger.
Bigger than a piano. Great. Again, now I know it's not a living thing, but I know it's bigger than a piano. So that could be a car, a house, could be a lot of things, but it wouldn't be a chair or something smaller than a piano, right? Okay, sunglasses, something like that. Okay. Now, I want you to close your eyes for me. I want you to imagine you walking into a classroom. You walk into this classroom, you're the only person there. You walk to the front of the room. Keep your eyes closed.
Oh,
Okay,
I
it's
was
okay.
like, am I naked?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's a nightmare. Oh, yeah. No. Use your imagination. I don't know. It's up to you. Up to you. You walk into this classroom. You're the only one there. You walk up to the front, and you see a board in front of you. Now, is that a whiteboard or a chalkboard? What do you see?
It's a green chalkboard.
So it is a chalkboard and it's green. Even though you hate chalk, you still went with it. You
yeah.
still went with it. Great. Okay. Tells me a lot about you. Tells me a lot about you. Now, I want you, in your mind, don't move your hands or anything. You're kind of preoccupied anyway. In your mind, I want you to pick up a piece of chalk in your mind when I say go, and I want you to draw this thing the same way you just drew it. And when you're finished, you could open your eyes and look at me. So when I say go, and go. Okay, great. So about 7.5, 8 seconds. I was counting. Okay, that's fine. So what that tells me, these things that you can uncover, it tells me that your thing has more curvy lines than straight lines, because if you choose straight lines, it's a lot faster to draw. Something would usually be under 5 seconds if it was straight lines. Is that true? It has more curvy lines to it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to draw something. Just one more thing. Have you ever drawn this thing before?
Yes.
You have.
That was more than 2 questions, by the way.
No, living or non-living. Okay. I think I know what this one is.
Yeah, you did figure it out.
It's either this or it's, I don't know if this is here. This probably would have, if you took 10 seconds, you probably would have drew this. I'm going to write it just in case people don't know. My drawing is terrible. Okay. I committed. And it sounds
gonna
good
do
from what
like
you
1, 2,
said.
3?
Yeah, you want to do it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. One. One. Do you want to say 2 or do you want? 2. 3. Is that? Oh, you had a son. I drew a pot of gold. Oh, you had birds and the sun. Oh, thank you so much for participating. Give her a nice round of applause. Thank you. I'll take that chalk as well. Thank you. Jeez. All right. The questions that we ask and those perspectives that we take in can be so powerful on how we influence others and collaborate and innovate for the future. Now, there was one more thing. I said when I was 6 years old, I got a magic kit. There was one more thing that happened when I was 6 years old that might have been even more powerful to me, and probably the thing that drove me to who I am today, who I became. And there's many times, maybe in your life, you think about it as well. I always can kind of pinpoint to one moment where my life could have went this way or that way. Which way was I going to go? And there was one moment in my life that changed everything forever. I was 6 years old. I got a magic kit and something else happened. My mother took me to the local fair, the local carnival fair. And I'm from New York. Is anyone from the New York side or East Coast side? Great, awesome, cool. So I'm from New York. We grew up in Queens. And we came to the local carnival, the local fair. And I was 6 years old, the first time I was ever at one of these things. And they have prizes you could win. You have to play these carnival games, and you can win a prize. There were these games. There was cotton candy and popcorn. I thought it was amazing. And there was one prize that I saw, and I said, I need to have that. That thing, I want it. And that thing is Mighty Mouse. If you don't know who Mighty Mouse is, Mighty Mouse is it's a mouse, it's a tiny mouse, but he's like Superman, right? His slogan was, "Here I come to save the day." And he was super strong, he could fly, basically Superman, but a mouse. That's what he was. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I saw it there. And the object was, you had to throw a bouncy rubber ball into a laundry basket. That's all you had to do, is throw a bouncy rubber ball into a laundry basket. $1 a shot. You hit the shot, you win your Mighty Mouse. I said, okay, how easy, that's fine. I could do that. So I asked my mom for $1. I said, can we play this game? She said, okay. Gave me $1 for one shot. I took the bouncy ball, gave it a couple dribbles, lined up my shot, took it, completely missed. Didn't hit the basket, didn't hit anything. So what does a 6-year-old do? He asked for another $1. I heard it a couple of times. Yeah, that's what he did. I have children as well. I asked for another $1, give me another shot. Bounced it a couple times, threw it, ooh, off the rim. Hit the rim this time. So a 6-year-old asked for another $1. Third time's a charm, right? No, it wasn't. Spoiler alert. I threw that shot, it went in, and then it bounced out. Bouncy rubber ball. I was like, but I told the guy, but it went in. He's like, no, it has to stay in the basket. I was like, oh, geez. I asked my mom for another $1. She's like, no, you're cut off. That's it, $3. She's like, I'm sorry, that's it. It's like, okay. We walked around the rest of the carnival, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about that Mighty Mouse. I was like, oh, I want that Mighty Mouse. I got to get it. My mom wouldn't pay for another $1 to do it. So we eventually went home. What's the first thing I did when I got home? That's right. I had a bouncy rubber ball. I'm 6. Of course, I had a ball. I took my mom's laundry, dumped it on the floor. She doesn't need that. Put the laundry basket there, took a couple shots. I practiced that ball and basket game day and night. I would stay up late. I would pretend I was sleeping. I'd get up in the middle of the night, ball and basket game. I'd be practicing it. I practiced so much throughout that first week. I was hitting that shot 50-50. I was like, okay, I could get this in 50-50. If we go back, I don't need $3 now. I just need $2. My mom will give me $2, right? She loves me. She'll give me $2. So next week, that Saturday came around. I grabbed my stuff. I said, Mom, I've been practicing all day. If you haven't noticed, it's been all week I've been practicing. I want to go back to that fair. We're going to go win that Mighty Mouse. I'll be out by the car. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah. That's how I was. You know what she said? Not no, but she said, that fair's not there anymore. She's like, that's a traveling carnival. Don't you realize we go to that park every week and there's never a carnival? I was like, oh, wow, my mom makes a good point here. Okay. Well, then where is that carnival? Where is it? We got to go find this Mighty Mouse. I was like, I don't know where it is. It left town. I don't know. It comes back next year. It's like that Zoltar machine in Big that just moves, and we got to go find it, right? We got to find this carnival. But my mom didn't know where it went, and she said, we could go next year if you want. Like, that's fine. So I was like, okay. So what I did was for the entire year, I practiced that ball and basket game. Every day, I continued to practice and make strides in that game. I became so good, I was hitting that shot 9 times, sometimes 10 times out of 10. I was eventually, took that basket, I put it on top of the dryer, I put it on top of the refrigerator. I was throwing it off the wall, under the leg, behind the back. I became the best ball and basket kid you've ever seen as a 7 and 8-year-old. I kid you not. I was amazing. Next year, the carnival came around. I went there, saw the ball and basket game. No Mighty Mouse. I was like, where do you guys do it, your Mighty Mouse? The guy's like, what are you talking about? I was like, last year you had the Mighty Mouse. I didn't know that they just throw random stuff back there. Now that I'm an adult, I realize that. I thought the ball and basket, you win a Mighty Mouse. You blow up the balloon with the water gun, you win a dinosaur, or whatever it is. Every game had their prize. I wouldn't know. I was naive as a 7, 8-year-old. So I figured, okay, well, there has to be a different carnival, something else we go to. In New York, those who don't know, it's on the East Coast, I would drive down with my parents. We would go down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We had a timeshare down there. So we'd drive down every year, and we'd stop at Busch Gardens along the way and different theme parks where they have all these games. And I'd always say, I want to stop there. Any carnival I see along the way, I want to stop. We're checking that ball and basket game. I became so good. That was my first piece of entrepreneurship. My first piece of entrepreneurship, I would hustle moms. That's what I was doing. I was hustling moms at the carnival. I would win the game so many times that other moms were like, oh, can you win my kid a prize? I'm like, sure, give me $5, I'll win you a prize. Like, no problem. So I would go around. I didn't want the prize because there wasn't a Mighty Mouse, so I was winning other people's prizes. I became so good. You know when you win 5 little ones, you traded in for the big one? That was me. This is me. That's the closest I got to a Mighty Mouse was that mouse. You see the little one, because I won 5 little ones, got a big one, then I won another little one. We had to carry that, tie it to the roof of our car, driving back from South Carolina. It's like a 14-hour drive back to New York, holding it while my mom's driving. She was so pissed, it was crazy. Like this. She hated me for that. It's still like in her attic with all the other toys that I won. I won so many prizes, and I would hustle moms, but they didn't care. They would give me $5 to win their kid a prize. Any parent in here knows my kid's crying over this thing. Just give it to him, right? Just give him that toy already. I'll give the kid $5 to give him the toy. So that's what I did. And then when I got 10 years old, I was in a gymnasium. My mom worked in the school system in New York, and I was in the gymnasium waiting for her to get out of school, out of work. And I was there and I saw these guys. These guys were playing this game where they were taking a ball and they were throwing it into this basket that was on top. And I asked these guys, I was like, what game are you playing? Like, what is this? And they said, this is basketball. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I know basketball. I became the master of laundry basketball. Like, that was my thing, right? I know this game. That's not basketball. It's like, no, this is basketball. This is a game. Like, this is what you play. I was like, oh, wow. I said, well, what if that is the ball and basket game that can get me my Mighty Mouse? I already mastered this game. I now have to move on. So what I did was I got a basketball. And in New York City, all you need is a basketball. You go to any park and find a game and start playing. So every day after school, I'd be in the playgrounds, in the parks, playing basketball. Every day, all on weekends, I'd be out all the time until the lights went out. That's when I came home, playing basketball, ball in basket. I became so good in high school, I made my team. My senior year of high school, I was actually the MVP of the Queens Brooklyn division in New York City, and I went on to play college basketball. My coach in college was Steve Clifford. He's actually now the coach of the Charlotte Hornets. He left after us and went to play to coach the New York Knicks and went on. And I played basketball throughout my life, thinking, when am I going to win this basket? When am I going to win this Mighty Mouse? But the crazy thing is, it's so crazy how insane I got it, how driven I was, how much I played this ball and basket game, which came in the laundry basket, to actually playing basketball, to making the high school teams, MVP, to get a scholarship, all because I didn't win a Mighty Mouse when I was 6 years old. That's the only time this happened. That's the only reason. And when I pinpointed back to that time, as I said, that time where my life could have went one way or the other, the scariest thing to me is if I stepped up to that plate and I took that shot and I hit it. If I hit the shot, and I would have won the Mighty Mouse, right? I would have been so happy. And what would have happened? Anyone who knows who has kids, I would have played with that Mighty Mouse for a week or two and threw it in the corner. That's what I would have done. And when I was in college, I played for 2 years until I had a devastating injury. I actually tore my Achilles on my left ankle. I tore my Achilles and I was devastated. I lost my scholarship. I ended up working at Verizon and I was heartbroken. And I was dating a girl at the time and she wanted to cheer me up. She brought this gift to me And I didn't want to see it. I was like, get that out of here. I don't want anything. Nothing's going to cheer me up. And I opened it up. I pulled it out, and it was this. It's Mighty Mouse. Now, I know what many of you, the women especially, are like, oh. I was so angry. I was so mad. I mean, now looking back, I see her perspective, right? I mean, maybe I could do something for this guy. But what she didn't understand is it ended up not becoming about the mouse. It wasn't about catching the mouse. It was the journey along the way. I could have went out. She bought it on eBay. I could have bought it on eBay if I really wanted it, right? I could have done it, but I didn't. Because it wasn't about the mouse. If everybody just handed your dream or what you wanted on a silver platter, how would you feel about it? It'd be great, but you didn't earn it. It was that time when it was hit or miss, and the scariest thing, if I hit it, I would have took this, played with it, and threw it in the corner, never to be seen again. But the fact that I missed that shot triggered something in my mind to make me go insane, to be driven and know what it took, the amount of effort day in and day out that needs to achieve a goal, whatever that goal was. And I just replicated that to business or to anything you want to do in life. It's the small steps. It's that compounding interest that you do every day, one foot in front of the other every day to achieve those dreams. And if you have a dream or you have an idea of something you want to do, I'll be the first to tell you, if people aren't laughing at you or people are saying you're crazy, then you're not dreaming big enough. Because that's what happened to me, and I figured that's what I want. And that's where I want to go. I want to share one last thing with all of you. You can all actually help out with this. What I need you to do is, where am I? Okay. If you want to help, let's take our calculator out. Clear it. Clear the calculator. And we're going to come up with a number. If you happen to have an actual calculator, like a scientific calculator, you'll get extra credit for this. I don't know if anybody actually does. One time I said, take out your phone and your calculator. A guy pulls out like a TI-89 or whatever those things were. I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen one of those since high school. Brings back bad memories. Okay, so pull out the calculator. We're going to come up with a really big number here. I'm going to try to choose somebody at random. First thing I'm going to do is take this paper ball. We're going to go, say, this way. Make sure I don't hit anybody. Okay. Okay, did I hit somebody? Close enough? You got where you got it? You got it? Okay, cool. We're actually going to start this, sir. I'm going to hand you, I got a microphone. I'm going to come down to you for a second here. Oh, man. That's okay. I'll hand you this. Now, over here, we're going to start this way. I'll put my calculator down. I have a book called Celebrity Misfires. Now, what it is, it's really stupid things that celebrities have said. It's a great book. So if there's a Jack Black, Mariah Carey, Sylvester Stallone, you can see, David Beckham, Donald Trump said some stuff. I mean, yeah, no way, right? Who would believe it? Mick Jagger. There's a bunch of people. I want you to give us, I think there's like 125, 130 pages, so give us a number. We're going to start there, but give us a number between, say, 5 and we'll go 125, somewhere around there.
67.
67. Or do you feel like I influenced you to choose that?
Maybe.
Perfect. It's supposed to feel that way. That's how it's supposed to feel. Do you want to change your mind at all?
No.
Perfect. That's great. You weren't supposed to. It's okay. All right. We're going to scroll through because I want you to see this. This is Charlie Sheen. Of course, he said some stuff. So 55, Justin Timberlake, 59, 61. You said 67, right?
Yeah.
So 65, 64, you would have picked Hugh Grant. You went 66, 67 is?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. He's not stupid, but everybody says something. I don't know what he said, but Tom Hanks. Cool. We're going to come back to it, and it's 67 you chose, correct?
Yeah.
So everybody in your calculator, just put in 67. Great. You have the paper ball. Can you throw that anywhere you like? Great. Dodge it. You can't dodge it. You can't. Okay, great. Now what I want you to do is we're going to multiply. We're going to take 67 and multiply that But I want you to give us a 4-digit number. Now, this could be your PIN number. It could be the last 4 of your social. Doesn't have to, I'm just saying it could be. Whatever you want. We're going to multiply 67 by whatever 4-digit number you want to give us. So what number would you like? Say it in a nice loud voice. I know you don't have a mic. 1612? Okay, so multiply that times 1612. And then we get, everybody has 108,004, right? Yeah. 108004. Cool. Throw that paper ball anywhere you'd like. Great. Who asked it? You have it? Okay, great. We're going to add now this time. We're going to switch it up and say add. Can you give us, say, a 5-digit number?
45120.
Okay, so we're going to add 45120. So 45,120. Okay, great. So everybody should be at 153,124. All right. I want a bigger number, so we're going to add... Can you just put your finger just like this? I want you to just hit some random numbers, maybe like 6 or 7. Good? Hit a couple? We're going to try to get it big. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know if you're hitting them either. Great. So we have, okay, you did 91. Okay, I'll call it out. 91, add. We're going to add to this. 91,270,093. So that's 91,270,093. So add, wow, that's a big number. Add 91,270,093. Everybody hit equals. You should have everybody has the same number, 91,423,217? Cool, great. All right, now we're going to jump back up here. Wow, that's a big number. So we're just going to write this down really quick. So we're going to write 423,217. Perfect. That is going to be the budget for next year's party. So, yeah. So it's amazing. We're going to have a fantastic time. But what you might think is random, the 67 that you chose, that you said, hey, you might have felt influenced, right? The PIN number that you gave us, so we all know your account. We get it. The 5-digit number, the random numbers you chose that you might think are so random, might not be as random as you think. The reason you're all here in this room, you might have been surrounded by those people, that circle of influence. You might have seen their perspective. You might have came out today or this week for this event, for these random things. But today is 9. It's September 14, 2023. And if you look at your watches right now, it's exactly 2:17 p.m. Thank you guys so much. My name is Karl. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys. Just one more thing. There's just one more thing moment. You might be asking, what does Tom Hanks have to do with this? Why did we drag Tom Hanks into this, right? Well, I'd love your perspective, just like I asked you guys to give it. And I want to share it with everybody here, for Paul, everybody who brought me in to this event. If you'd be so kind, if you scan this QR code or type it in and write thanks, there's about 4 questions that I'd love to share the feedback with the committee. And as just one more thing, you might find out why Tom Hanks feels so important to be dragged into this. Thanks, guys. Thank you.